The gilded invitation arrived a fortnight before All Hallows' Eve, requesting Madeline's presence at the ancestral Rahvensville Manor for a masquerade ball and dinner party. She had read dark rumors of bizarre rituals and debaucheries hosted by the reclusive Lord Rahvensville over the years, yet never had the manor's gates opened to outsiders before. As Madeline ascended the winding trail toward the Gothic estate, ravens watched from the barren trees lining the path. Lamplight glowed from arched windows, but no guests could be seen. Reaching the imposing double doors, Madeline lifted the serpent-shaped knocker, its hollow clang resonating within the manor. The door creaked open, revealing a bowed butler who greeted Madeline with a cadaverous smile. "Welcome, honored guest, to Rahvensville Manor. Please, do come in." She followed him through a grand foyer, her stiletto heels clacking on the marble floors. They passed arches leading to silent halls and stairwells trailing into darkness. Not a single other guest was present. Apprehension growing, Madeline turned to question the butler, but found only empty space where he had stood. She froze as faint music and chatter finally reached her ears. Turning the corner, Madeline stumbled upon a lavish dining hall filled with revelers in ornate costumes and dominoes. A tall, gaunt gentleman she assumed was Lord Rahvensville approached. "Welcome, my dear. We have been awaiting your arrival." His smile seemed to contain too many teeth. Rahvensville grasped her arm and led her to the head of the table. Madeline fidgeted with her mask and champagne flute as the guests gorged themselves on the macabre feast. Their masks hid all but hungry mouths snarling and smacking. Bones crunched loudly as they feasted. She started suddenly when cold fingers brushed her neck. Rahvensville leaned in and whispered, "Why aren't you delighting in the bounties of flesh and bone, my pet? Tonight is a celebration." "Thank you, but I'm not very hungry," Madeline replied weakly. Rahvensville frowned. "But the ritual cannot commence without your participation. Tradition demands it." He soaked a chunk of raw meat in a goblet of thick red wine and held it to Madeline's lips. "You must feed the darkness within. It yearns to become one with you." Madeline recoiled in disgust from the offering. "Please, I just want to leave." The room fell silent, all eyes upon her. Then Rahvensville roared with rage. Tables overturned and shattered glass as the guests leapt up, gnarled claws emerging from their sleeves. Madeline screamed and fled into the maze-like halls, the creature's shrieks echoing behind her. She sprinted up a winding staircase as they pursued on all fours like animals, bounding over walls and ceilings alike. Halfway up, Madeline's heel snapped and she tumbled back down the steps, degloved hands catching her fall. To her horror, she found herself face to face with her distorted doppelganger at the base of the stairs, its mask now transparent like stretched skin. "This is your home now," it hissed in her voice. "Become one with the night." Madeline screamed and kicked away the creature, crawling desperately up the steps on broken limbs. She could hear the hunting party drawing closer, cackling with glee at the sport. At the top was an arched window, the only escape. Saying a silent prayer, Madeline hurled herself into the darkness. She landed in icy marsh waters, the muck sucking her into its depths. Lungs burning for air, Madeline clawed her way through the reeds until finally surging, gasping from the bog. She limped, bleeding through the woods for what felt like hours, one thought driving her onward: escape this cursed valley. In the distance, Rahvensville Manor blazed with light, its denizens' shrieks carried on the wind. The trail ended at a sheer rock face. With no way forward, Madeline collapsed against the stones and wept. She would die here, beneath the light of the blood moon. As she slipped into unconsciousness, Madeline dreamed of floating above the fetid swamp. There, cloaked figures stood in a circle chanting archaic words. At their center lay an altar where her physical body writhed and contorted. The full moon rose overhead, bathing her form in crimson light. Madeline felt an insidious darkness slithering into every cell, corrupting her from within. She tried to cry out, but produced only a primal howl. Looking down, she now saw fur and gnarled claws instead of hands. The transformation was complete. Madeline's perspective shifted until she was looking up at the chanting acolytes through the eyes of a roaring beast. She turned on them in a frenzy, shredding through muscle and bone. Their screams of agony were sweet music. She would kill them all, raze their cursed sanctuary to the ground. Rahvensville Manor burned against the night sky, lighting the valley with infernal radiance. Madeline watched from the woods as her new brethren tore the last of the cultists limb from limb beneath the baleful blood moon. They found her body weeks later at the base of the cliff, having gouged the stone bare-handed to the bone before succumbing to the elements. Officially ruled an accidental fall, though rumors spread of a cursed valley hidden deep in the ancient forest, where some primal evil yet lingers, waiting to claim fresh victims.